individually. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So did you walk in and have clients that you were taking over, like B and C's from Dan or Al, or did you come into the
Yeah,
business and start from
pretty much
scratch?
one of those type of things. Yeah,
You took over some of the stuff that they had, their B and C's.
I will. Yeah, I will be, and my own as well.
You will be. Okay, well, what's happening right now? So in the last 2 years, what have you been up to? Like, has it been more sales and more been learning, training, what?
Both, a little bit of everything, a mix of everything, pretty much.
Okay. How are you getting?
Sales, learning,
Okay.
getting experience, meeting people, doing the whole spiel.
Okay. So have you been, making money on a salary and plus some income from sales too?
Yeah, yes, on a salary, yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Are you right out of college or are you?
I
Did
am,
you just
yes, I am.
Okay.
Right out of school.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. So what's your goal for the next year? What do you want to see happen by next year this time?
On a monetary basis, or generally just on a
Overall, yeah, overall.
personal basis? To just be exposed, meet new people, branch out to new markets, eventually develop my own book of business, and just get experience in the field. Mainly meeting new people, I would say.
Okay.
Organizing myself, being more persistent and consistent with my approach, and just learning different markets and meeting new people.
Okay. And what about monetarily? What do you want to see happen there?
I don't really, on a personal basis, I would like to do very well. Do I know how much room I'm going to get to roam free and do, in my mind, I'd like to make $100,000 next year.
Okay.
Based upon what's needed to be done with me, maybe helping out a little bit, training people around here, and then going on my own as well. I don't know how that, can be projected right away until I get a better picture of what my goal is.
Uh-huh.
But that's pretty much where I'd say, in between there.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
And where?
it's kind of blurry, but
Yeah, I hear you.
As you can understand, though.
Well, I questioned some of that, I guess, when you start thinking about your key roles for this year here that we're in. I mean, what is it about? What are the three big things that this year's about for you?
Just basically breaking into new markets, meeting new people, and gaining experience, I think, and then, making money and doing the right thing that will, eventually lead into more business down the road.
Okay, so you said new markets, breaking into new markets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was the second one you said?
It being more, I guess, organized and persistent with my approach.
Okay. What was the last one? What was the third one?
I mean, basically, those are pretty big in my mind. If you look from a non-monetary standpoint, I think that once that happens for me, maybe knowledge and more professional and just being more active. Oh wow, I see you right there now.
There you go. Okay, so when you say break into new markets, how many markets do you want to break into, and what markets are they?
Well, basically, I would work from right now, starting with my natural market, and meeting new people, breaking off and branching out, and I joined the Detroit Athletic Club, which will help me meet new people. I say business owners and maybe younger people that have children, looking to 5 to 10 years into marriage, anything of that matter, but mainly I'd say probably business owners.
Okay, bringing new markets. Business.
Breaking away from my natural and target market into, meeting new people that can branch off into other opportunities.
Okay. And so how many households or people are you currently working with? Like, do you actually have clients that you're getting paid on right now?
No, I do not.
You don't? Okay.
No.
But that's the direction you're headed in?
That is, yes.
Okay, and is that,
very soon.
like, what's very soon?
March.
Okay. And then does your compensation and everything change at that point?
It will, yes.
Okay, is it March 1st?
I believe so.
Okay.
I haven't been given the exact date yet. They're working on a few details, so that's kind of, as I said, it's you know, and I hope that I don't know exactly how that is structured, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to give you if this is the best time for me to get this, have this talk, but I
Yeah, yeah.
figured when I spoke with that woman after I took my survey, she was like, you'd really enjoy this, and I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try, whatnot. And I know I talked to Kevin, and he said that he really, did you sit down with Kevin or no?
Kevin, what's his last name?
Bates?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's working with
Yeah,
one of
he
our
told me.
coaches, yeah.
Yeah, he told me that you guys did a good job, and he said, just go for it, and if it's not the right time, you can do it in a couple months down the road.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's, we work only with financial advisors. To give you an idea, we have 47 coaches in our company, and I, did Kevin's review and yours because I'm so close. I'm coaching Al and also Dan. So I'm a little bit closer to Cambridge than we would be with some other accounts, just because the more I understand about the culture and where you guys are, the more I can support those guys, because I coach them both personally. So I only work with 8 people directly.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's outstanding.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to, get a little bit more involved with what you were up to and where you are, because the more I can kind of understand about that, the better overall we can serve you guys. So,
yeah, 100%. And that's the only problem is I feel like that I haven't really been given a vision on that of my future path, so I don't know exactly how clear some of my answers can be. But at the same time, I'd rather have you tell me that than let's just not go through with it and meet you and try and do this.
What was that at the same time? What?
I'd rather be informed that than.
Oh, hold on, Xavier. Sandra, I'm not hearing you. Just one second here.
Did I lose you? Hello?
Okay, gotcha. Are you there now?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry about that. I don't know what was going on there.
I'm saying I'd rather go through the experience of speaking with you and hearing, figuring out what this is all about now than just forgetting about it. So I think it'd be very valuable, and I think that it would help a lot down the road, or even now. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I just don't really know what type of services you guys provide, and if it's providable for me at this moment, or if it's something that would be more beneficial like 6 months down the road.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, typically we're working with more, advisors that are somewhere between, the low end, they'd already be at 100,000. They're typically closer to 250 range.
Oh, okay.
So they're more experienced advisors. However, I've got some other coaches on the team that are less expensive, and you're not going to get as.
It's not really. I'm not really worried about that part of it. I just am worried about if you feel though you could service me at the level you do. You know what I'm saying? With my limited experience.
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I mean, there's no doubt that I'm a strong believer. I mean, invest in yourself. I mean, I was right out of college and spending $20,000 to go work with Tony directly, with school loans out the yin yang and investing in myself. But I feel like I'm a big advocate of investing in yourself, and the dividends are.
You have to.
Yeah, they're tenfold. So
only way to do that.
Yeah, so I'm pretty slanted in that way. I think that if you can get a jump start on everybody else, and the more clarity that you have around where you're going to head, like even now in some of these questions I'm asking you, like, okay, well, tell me, where are you headed? What does that look like? And even though that may not start till March 1st, March 15th, or that time frame, but to have your plan laid out of exactly what you're going to do when that trigger is fired, or even start doing some of it now, to start with those best practices right from the beginning, I think is going to give you a huge competitive advantage. But it's not typically, you're an anomaly if you're willing to invest in yourself. It's just at the early stages. Not that it wouldn't be good for you. It's just most advisors are saying, hey, I'm just not ready for that yet. I'm, barely, understanding the products, and I'm trying to, still pay my bills.
I wouldn't say that's my case. I would just say I just getting the feeling that I am not. I'm just feeling that from your perspective that you cannot service me. I don't have that feeling at all. I just don't know if that what you do is something that can tailor to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
At this point in my situation.
Yeah, no, I hear you. No, there's no doubt. I mean, you're going to get best practices and start with the best practices right from the beginning, and not have to unlearn stuff. Which I think is valuable. And you can always sort of get started and get some things going, and then make changes along the way too. But I think the first thing would be to really get clear about if it's 100,000 income, how many households, what are your ideal clients, how are we going to go get them, what are the good solid habits that you can build early on in building a business. So, and the coach I'm thinking about is actually worked with, he just retired from the industry as a top of the table multi-million-dollar producer, and he's worked with thousands of newbies, the guys that have been in the business 2-3 years, and helped them to grow into, the bigger producers. So he knows the early on, the best things to do, and how to take your warm market and move into the business market, and how to leverage strategic partnerships and CPAs and things like that. And it sounds like Al and Dan will probably be, like you'll end up with some of the B, C, and D clients to work, right, early on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Would that be someone that would be more better for me to speak with, or what would you suggest?
No, I mean, I think he's going to be a natural fit for you, and let's look at your MindScan, and then we'll see, and I'll give you some options as far as next steps. So, okay. This is your profile. I'm going to send you your full profile too, but this is basically showing what your thinking looks like here. And
okay,
let me get my pen out. So, there's 3 different areas of thinking. It's around everything around people, everything around action, taking action, getting things done, and then everything around process and system, black and white. So okay. What we see here is that you like to follow a process. You like to have, because this circle is the highest one of all these, okay. That you value, process, system, do it this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, And so I think based on that, it really would be valuable to say, okay, here's your first step. Boom. Here's what you do. Here's the second thing you need to do. And here are 5 or 6 things that you need to be doing every day or every week in order to achieve your goals. And because you're these circles are bigger here as they relate to the circles up here in each one of these areas. So what that means is that you've got a lot of tenacity. It's what we call inner-directed. So you can keep going and going and going and going, and most people would quit or give up. And you just have the ability, because your clarity is so strong internally down here as opposed to up here, that you can just keep marching down a path over and over and over again. The good news is that you'll keep going when many people would stop or quit. The bad news is that you could keep going in the wrong direction. And you won't stop.
I think that's definitely an area of focus that I need to concern myself with.
It is, because
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It is, because these circles are quite a bit smaller here. Most of the time when we see these is that the circles up here are larger than the circles down here. Yours is direct opposite.
And what does that mean?
Well, again, it's a good thing in that if you're going down the right path, you're unstoppable, because you just keep going and going and going. If you're going down the wrong path, it's dangerous, because you'll just keep Yeah, and you'll keep going and going and going, and you won't ever shift gears because you're just so committed to that path.
Yeah, no, I definitely have, that's definitely something I would agree with.
So what we need to do is look at, really get clear about who are those ideal clients, what are the ideal activities to take based on the ideal clients, and then what's the process that needs to be followed. So now we're getting total clarity about what this looks like, and you can take, the right actions to get there as opposed to, sort of having this fuzziness around what that is, and then you're, going down this path, but it's not anything that has a clarity or the right actions or the right people or the right process around it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely agree on that.
yeah, and what we do is we basically would set up, we call a VMAP here. It's a virtual momentum action plan with your vision. What does that look like? What are the core values that you stand for? What do your ideal clients look like? What are the key performance indicators, the actions you need to take to get there? What are the strategies to get there? What are the projects and what are the critical activities? So you end up with this one-page plan that then you could track and measure around it. So
I like that.
All right, so this is where, let me just show you some next steps here and we can kind of see what might work for you.
Now, in this, in terms of this page right here directly, when it says my circles are much lower than they are up top.
Yeah.
Like you say, so my inner self-direction, role awareness, and self-empathy means that inside, I know, like you said, like I'm confident in my way. When I get into it, I continue to take that path, and because of the fact that I'm structured and that I just continue down that path. So you're saying the goal would be to overall find the correct path that I can bulldoze down rather than the wrong path, right?
Yep. Yeah, so it's like this. Okay, let's say that we have a square, and what will happen because of your inner directness, you may be trying to fit that circle into the square. It's just never going to fit, right? Yeah. But if we identify the right path and it is a circle, there's no one that can stop you because it's such a good fit because you have so much tenacity to make it happen. But this is the danger is you'll keep going and going and going and trying these approaches and waste a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of resources by trying to fit something in something that's never going to fit.
Now, talking about the benefits of what the training can provide, minus just the core values and the other things you just mentioned, what's going to put me down? Why do you think what you guys can provide will help me get there? Whereas if not, I won't be able to get there.
Yeah.
Okay. Not won't be able to, but it will take me much longer. So.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing, honestly, Xander, is just making sure you do have clarity about where you're going and then what are the best approaches to get there. For example, you said you wanted to go in the business space. So let's identify what business space and what do those ideal clients look like that are there. Okay, so we really want to get clarity. What does an ideal client look like? And we want to look.
Business owner.
Okay, yeah. And we want to look at the demographics and the psychographics of that. So demographics is the stuff around that we can measure in a certain geography, in a certain vertical market, in a, over a certain income, whatever that is. Psychographics is looking at, what, they call you back, they want to work with you, so on and so forth. Then we say, okay, there's really three best approaches to go after these ideal clients. One is existing clients that we call QCCs, qualified, committed, and coachable, and there's a process to follow to duplicate those ideal clients. So when you get some clients from Dan or Al or Kevin or other people in the organization, we want to scrub that list and say, okay, of that list, who are the most ideal clients that you can start to duplicate, right? The next thing we want to look at is who are your strategic alliance partnerships that you have in place with CPAs or law firms or P&C firms? And
that's kind of one of the things I've been, developing down the road as of right now is just, the balance of individuals around me and that level, so that when I do approach that time to take the next step, that I have something at least structured. I've at least taken a name put it onto my face so people recognize, know what I do. Like as I said, mainly exposing myself.
Right. Well, and then exactly that's the piece though, is you're right, you do have to expose yourself, but how do you do it in the best way possible as opposed to just, kind of marching on my path, I'm just going to expose myself to a bunch of people.
Yeah,
How
no,
do you
I
get a
agree
lot more
100%.
focus around where you're exposing yourself and what makes sense? Because you could end up doing
Just becoming a visitor, yeah. That's
yeah,
some
you're
of
doing a
the
bunch of networking events and all this, and
yeah,
none of it's getting you traction.
exactly. That's some advice I took on earlier when just people talking about, going in and meeting people and not just becoming a visitor because, and no, I agree with you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay.
What you were saying was great.
So here's kind of our model is, the one-on-one coaching. It's a year program basically, and this is all the stuff that you're getting with it is your full mind scan. We've got an action plan of best practices for top advisors. It's one-on-one private coaching. We have 52 best practices for the top advisors. You have access to that. Mind scans that you'd want to run on you or anyone else on the team. Any support that you need, 24/7. 30 private one-on-one coaching calls, plus 2 on-site visits to shadow you and help follow you around and see what you're currently doing.
Is there any way I could steal a copy of this, or?
Yeah. And what I might suggest, instead of jumping up here or even here early on, is you may just want to do this basic 60 a month and just start. It's a video clip that you'll get sent to you weekly with a best practice in it, and then it's inexpensive. It lets you get a taste for it, and then maybe what I can do is I'll send this stuff to you, you can review it, and then I'll set up a call with you and Jim, Jim's actually in Chicago. He was the president of the old guard for AXA forever, and he ran the Chicago branch for a long time. Now he's retired, so he'd be a great person to just catch up with and see if there is a good fit there. Because you're talking about a $20,000 investment, for a year.
Yeah, it's a little hefty, and I'd rather have someone to work with if I was going to do that than rather know where I was and what was going on. But I mean, I like and I agree with what you're saying. Now down here, the basic, would you say that actually would that you think do something for me in my situation or no?
Yeah, because at least in that you're going to get access to you're going to get access to the video clips so there's going to be a video clip that comes out every week of a best practice. So I think that's a inexpensive way to get some exposure and at least stay connected with some of what we're doing, and then and then you can always look at going to a group coaching or something like that as your business starts to build, but it'll give you some good early on stuff. So
no, I agree 100%.
All right, so let's see. Let me get your stuff here. Okay, so it's XANDER.
Yes.
And what was your last name again? I'm sorry.
Wagner, W-A-G-N-E-R.
W-A-G-N-E-R?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. I think I got some of this other stuff here.
Yep.
Email. What do you want as your username?
Just Xander, 1 is fine.
Vander, V-A-N-D-E-R?
If that's all right. Will it work?
Oh, your first name. Okay, X-A-N-D-E-R, 1.
Yeah, sure. Perfect.
Okay, password?
I guess my last name would be fine, too.
As your password?
Sure, yeah. Perfect.
Okay. All right. C4CGQ. And you're in Michigan?
Yes. Unfortunately.
Oops, yeah. What's the city there?
Troy.
Troy. Okay, not Royal Oak, 317 James Circle.
No, yeah, we can do that. That's actually my home address, so we can do that.
317 James Circle, Royal Oak. What was it again? James Circle?
James Circle, yeah, 317 James Circle, 48067.
48067. C4.
Oh, I see you popped it under the phone number.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you're right. Okay, let's see. Phone. All right, and what credit card do you want to use?
I mean, now what am I paying for right here?
Oh, this will be for the virtual coach. So this will give you the online access to the best practices and send you that video clip weekly with assignments. So you're getting coaching, but it's just coming virtual to you.
Okay. Well, what I want to do was, could I wait until March to do this so that I can have more of a clear idea of what my situation is looking like? Would that be able to work?
You can. I would just, if you can cancel this at any point, but you'll get that first video clip right away and start getting the best practices. I'd say jump on it. It's only $60, but again, start it, you cancel it. It's totally up to you where you want to go.
Well, what I was hoping to do was actually sit down with someone, a senior associate, and talk to them about what they think and what I'm saying, rather than just make a decision on my own right now.
Okay.
If that's fine with you.
Yeah. Why don't you?
I can still go ahead and do that, can't I?
Yeah, I'll send you the pricing sheet, and again, I'm just trying to give you the simplest way to get started with something. I think.
No, yeah, I just would rather converse with somebody before I jumped into it and decide on my own, because I may not, saying rather than do it now, I could do it in March, and if March 1 wasn't the ideal date, I could wait till March 15th, or, rather get a better idea of it, of where I'm going to be, just so that I can do it when I have time to do it and, be serious.
Yeah, it's a 5-minute video clip per week, basically, of a best practice. So with assignments attached to it. So again,
I mean, do it I can sign up for next week, can't I?
Yeah, you can do it anytime you want. I mean, again, I'm just saying if you jump on it, then you're going to get all your stuff now, and you can start working through Advisor 7 Secrets. I mean, you can really start digging into the best practices. So.
Well, I mean, I'd just rather wait for a week or so until I can get a better idea of what's going on with me right now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll send you your profile and the pricing, and then we'll take it from there.
Now, the individual you said that works out of Chicago, what was his name?
Jim Schlesinger.
Okay.
Yep.
And I could set something up with him. You said down, next month or so to talk with him.
I would start with this, honestly, Xander, is see if you're even doing it, if you're committing the time to even do that, because again, the interdirected, you almost need protection from yourself. See, because look how you shifted gears so fast. In the beginning, it's like, oh, I want to do whatever it takes, and I believe in investing in myself, and it's like $60 even is nothing, right?
No, it's not even that. It's just that I would rather just converse with somebody and figure out my situation first before I made a move. And if I'm not really committing my time to this right now, why not, in 2-3 weeks when I have a better picture of my own sense that I could do it and work a lot harder.
Well, yeah, I would touch base with with some of the guys that are there and see if it's a good fit. I probably would start here and then see how you do for the next year without again, unless there's no doubt coaching works, but you got to be committed to it, and you got to say I'm ready to jump in, and do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. So how would I do this if I want to do it in a week or so? I just don't want
Um,
to do it now until I sit down and talk with somebody and get a better picture of what's going on.
I'll forward this stuff to you, and so you can take a
Okay.
look at that. So let me just shoot it to you, and then we'll correspond over email. So.
Okay, perfect.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Xander. Catch you soon, bud.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thanks. All right, bye-bye.
Hey, Rich.
How's it going?
Good. I don't know why my headset's not working.